RSL Nation, welcome back to the
The
Bro.
bros, what's up?
Oh,
Ooh.
that one
Oh,
that wasn't smooth. It's all right.
it was still all right.
It's all right. Man, we have a lot to talk about.
A lot to cover.
But I have to ask you how you're doing because it's been a couple slow days to be
It
honest.
it's been kind of a dead week, but you know what it is? It's tomorrow. Tomorrow begins Leagues Cup, and I am pumped, super hyped for this. And also, well, we're gonna get into it more, but tomorrow is obviously the debut of Messi. But it's exciting weekend.
For
Whoo!
the, for those who can't see my face, my eyes are wide open. I am so excited.
How are you? How are you, my friend?
Um, I'm glad it's the weekend. Well, I say it's the weekend because I have work off tomorrow, but
And no work Monday too.
and no work Monday. But I am super good. I've been looking at the Leagues Cup for a long time, and especially because of Messi. For
Yeah.
us that are huge Messi fans, we're really excited to see what Messi can bring. Um, let's dive into it by talking just a little bit about Messi, and then we're just gonna dive right into. Um, we're just gonna give you guys what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about our brackets that we filled out. We're going to show you guys for those that are watching on YouTube. So on Spotify, you just have to listen really carefully where we're at. But um, we're going to talk about our brackets. We're talking about who we think is going to win. We're going to talk about any Cinderella stories that might happen going against whatever our brackets say. And then we're going to give our predictions for the RSL game.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
Messi could be making his debut tomorrow.
he could against Cruz Azul.
What are your thoughts about him making his debut or possible debut? Well, no, not possible. They said he will get minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say not possible. He is gonna be playing tomorrow, along with Busquets. Can't forget Busquets as well. That's gonna be a good firepower on the attack as well as the midfield. Who knows how much playing time they'll get, but I'm excited to see. And then along with that, Miami sold out their stadium.
Which isn't hard to do.
No,
I mean, when you all you have to have is 11 people buying tickets and you sold out the stadium. But Miami also has some good news. They also officially announced Jordi Alba. Messi also officially signed would be today, Thursday. Um, so officially the signature is on the paper. Miami is set. But the question is, how are they going to do with Messi and Busquets and Jordi Alba? But also, I'm going to say but a lot, we don't really care because we care about RSL.
that's all we care about. Ever since the League's Cup was announced earlier this year, I've been super hyped about that. Just so we can talk about all that on today's episode.
Hey,
So
but I do want to ask you a question
absolutely.
before we go over our brackets,
Hmm.
because our brackets are sometimes we're just guessing, or or sometimes we're actually just thinking statistically. But how do you feel RSL is going to do apart from your bracket? How
Yeah.
do you feel RSL is going to do?
Um, I see realistically that it's going to be a tough competition. Like Liga MX has some tough teams. We have a tough group to begin with Seattle and Monterrey. So if we sneak out, then I see us maybe going first or second game in the knockout round and then getting knocked out. It's going to be kind of hard. If we get first in our group, then maybe I could see a deep run. But if we're getting second, then we're not really having that home field advantage. So it'll be kind of tough.
So you think we're going to be eliminated in the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight?
Unfortunately, yeah, yeah. But
Hmm,
but we'll get to more on that when we see my bracket.
perfect. Let's do this. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to share my screen here, and we're going to take a look at. Um, there are going to be three. If you can see it, there's three sections up here. We're going to have a section with the group stage.
Hmm.
Over here, upper right of my screen, we're going to have the Liga MX
The
standings.
standings.
current standings, and then below that would be the current MLS standings. And I'm going to go with the Supporter Shield
So
standings.
we're gonna start with Alan's bracket over here on.
Yes, here we go.
So
We're going to start off with
West one.
West 1. Okay, West 1 has Tigres, San Jose Earthquakes, and Portland Timbers.
Mm-hmm.
With just a quick summary of each of these teams. Tigres, we're looking at their 5th right now. In San Jose in the Supporter Shield is 14th, and Portland is 23rd. I am taking this for face value. I went Tigres, San Jose, Portland in that order.
Okay.
Let's see what you did. You, my friend, did Tigres, Portland, San Jose.
I went the opposite. So I based mine off of, obviously we've seen how good Tigres is with their attack of Gignac. And then I was kind of on a coin flip between Portland and San Jose, but mostly chose Portland because what they've done these past couple of games, they did really well at home against Columbus, just barely. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Portland here.
All right, interesting. Because we have 10 groups of these, we're going to move a little fast, and then we're going to go into our knockout stage, and then we're going to talk a little deeper about RSL. So, West 2, we're going to stay on yours.
Which is the best group.
Which is the best group. You have, all right, Monterrey as the first, Real Salt Lake as second, and Seattle coming in last.
Yes.
And that's pretty much straightforward. Again, we have Monterrey, even though they're not doing. Actually, yeah, they are where they are. Second.
I was like, they're second.
They're second right now. Seattle is 10th. RSL is 8th on Supporter Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So you went straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
I, on the other hand, did the same thing.
You went straight to chalk.
Yep. So nothing changes there. West 3 has Leon, Vancouver Whitecaps, and the LA Galaxy. And as I say, that's the order that I went in. I went with Leon first, even though they're mid-table. Vancouver is not. They're in the middle. Where are they? Where are they at? There they are.
You just passed them, yeah, right there.
It's because it doesn't say Vancouver Whitecaps. It says just
Vancouver. Vancouver Whitecaps are 15th overall.
Yeah, 15th. And then LA, we know that LA Galaxy are not having a hot season. So
see, you'll find this interesting. If you look at mine for this group for West 3, I went the complete opposite. I went Leon, LA Galaxy, Vancouver, because these teams just recently played in the regular season, if you remember, LA and Vancouver. But I'm going off of how good LA Galaxy are kind of hitting momentum right now. They did well against LAFC in the Rose Bowl, if you remember. And I think with LA Galaxy playing both games at home, that's going to have that home field advantage for them.
Very interesting points, my friend. I still will not go with you. All right, let's move down to Central 1. Central 1 has.
I think this is the first group of the group of death, in my opinion.
You don't think RSL's group is a group of death?
That's one of them. This is another group of death.
Okay, so we have America, St. Louis City, and Columbus Crew. You have them in that order. America being the first. Where are they at? Oh, they're 12th. And they're okay. St. Louis, we know, are third in the whole league, and Columbus Crew are sandwiched between RSL and Seattle at 9th. So you don't think Columbus Crew are going to be able to go through?
I do not know. We're seeing how well St. Louis right now is in the league right now, fighting for that supporter shield right now, first in the West, and I think that they're going to be above Columbus.
Whereas I don't believe you. I think that Columbus is going to get results. America is going to struggle with one of those games, and St. Louis is not going to impress. They haven't impressed me as of late in league play.
Is it just the fact that they have two players that are on injury?
You tell me if it's big enough having their forward injured.
Well, they are possibly going to have one of their players back Lowen is back, but Klaus possibly might return for Leagues Cup. So I think that will make a huge difference for them.
If Klaus does not return, St. Louis will not do well. Period.
So moving on to Central 2.
Central 2, we have Puebla, Minnesota United, and Chicago Fire. This was kind of one of those bleh groups. I have Puebla, Minnesota, and Chicago, whereas you have Minnesota, Chicago, Puebla.
Yeah. So I was kind of scratching my head on this one. This one was very confusing. Minnesota and Chicago are not doing really hot right now in league table. So I was just like, I'm going to give Chicago the benefit of the doubt.
In fact, if you're looking at the tables, Chicago is doing the best. They're at 13.
Yeah.
Minnesota's at 20, and
And you look
Puebla is at 17 of 18.
Yeah. So I was like, I see how bad Puebla is. So I'm like, they're not going to do great right here.
Well, for me, this is going to be probably one of those 15-2 upsets. Excellent. Let's move on to Central 3. Central 3 has a couple of heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
We have FC Cincinnati, which we know they are top of the league by how many points? By 8 points, they're atop the league. We have Chivas. Chivas is also atop the league.
Yeah.
And then we have Sporting KC.
So this is 2 heavy hitters in both leagues in the same group. It's like, how did this happen?
I don't know, but that's another group of death.
Yeah. So
that was your prediction of Cincinnati, Chivas, Sporting.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like I did the same thing. Cincinnati, Chivas, Sporting.
In this one, I was going back and forth between Chivas, Cincinnati, Chivas, Kansas City, but I was like, I'm riding high on Cincinnati because they got a very dangerous attack of Lucho Acosta, Brandon Vasquez, so
it's dangerous.
Yeah. So moving on to Central number 4.
Central 4, the group has Nashville, Toluca, and Colorado Rapids. Yeah. I have them in that order: Nashville, Toluca, Colorado.
I think I do as well.
You have the same thing, and only because Nashville is 5th in the league, Toluca is 9th, and the Rapids are. I gotta scroll a lot in order to get to the Rapids.
They're down there.
Yeah, they're 27 out of 29. So
I think this one in this group is going to be straight chalk. It'll be a surprise if Colorado can even get second, but anything can happen. So
it's a safe one for this one. All right.
So moving over to the South number uno.
South number uno. We have
Juarez, Austin, and Mazatlan.
Yep, Juarez, Austin, Mazatlan. And you have them in that order because Juarez is 3rd. Juarez is doing really well. Austin is in the middle right now at 12. And Mazatlan is 15th out of 18.
Yeah.
So, whereas I have it the same way. I have a feeling you copied my bracket for some reason.
I think it's like when you're taking a test, you were looking over my shoulder, so
you wish.
You know, you copy your favorite people. Is that how it goes?
Yes, sure. This one it almost seems this one's not even straightforward either because there's a lot of mid lower table teams that are together, which makes this really hard to figure out who's going to come out.
Hey, I did a lot of homework when it comes to doing my bracket. Okay, so
maybe I should have copied you. Let's go to South 2.
South number 2.
South 2.
We got Orlando, Santos Laguna, and Houston Dynamo.
This one was a tough one. You have Orlando sitting in 7th place. You have Santos sitting in 10th place. And Houston is in 19th. This is me. I have Orlando coming out 1st, Santos 2nd, Houston 3rd. Whereas you have Santos 1st, Orlando 2nd, Houston 3rd.
I was flip-flopping between Orlando and Houston in this one because we've seen how well Houston has been at times with Hector Herrera, Corey Baird, uh, Carrasquilla for Panama. So no, I'm gonna ride with Maguire in Orlando.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's move to South 3.
Ooh, we get Messi's group.
Here we go. It is Atlanta, Miami, and Cruz Azul. And you have them in that order. Atlanta winning the group, but you have Miami moving on.
Yeah, so I was like everybody else. I had Miami dead last, but I think with the momentum with Messi and Busquets, and obviously Joseph Martinez on the attack, I think that's going to help them squeak away in second place because, mind you, both of Miami's games are at home.
True story. True story. Which I think I copied you. So, yep, Atlanta and Miami moving on. South 4. South 4, this group has FC Dallas, Necaxa, and Charlotte. I have Dallas moving up on top of this one, only because Necaxa isn't doing too well, and Charlotte is one of them basement dwellers as well. So
It's true. It's true.
so this one was a little bit easier to predict, and it looks like you have the same thing. You copied me.
I was when I originally made my bracket, I had Dallas and then Charlotte because I've seen at times Charlotte can be good with Swiderski on their attack, and then Merrim has been good at times, but I'm like, they're kind of on a losing streak right now. So and Dallas has Herrera, who's been red hot from the Gold Cup. So let's go with Dallas.
I'll trust you. I trust you. East 1. East 1, we have Philadelphia Union, Tijuana, and Querétaro. This one, I think, have we had two Mexican clubs in the same? Oh, yeah, we have.
Yeah.
So Philadelphia having to play against Tijuana and Querétaro. You have Philadelphia coming out on top because, well, Philadelphia isn't doing too shabby. They're fourth in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have Tijuana, who's eighth, and Querétaro, who is towards the bottom. So this one almost seems like an obvious one.
This is kind of a coin flip ish.
At least for Tijuana and Querétaro.
Yeah.
And I have Querétaro as a surprise.
Interesting. You have no faith in Philly?
Philly's going to struggle. Why? Because they've never played against Querétaro. That's why.
But they're playing at home.
Doesn't matter. I have my thoughts, okay? I reserve to have my thoughts. So
Sure.
So Querétaro is coming out first on that one with Philly and Tijuana. All right, East 2, we have three more groups. East 2 has Pumas, DC United, and Montreal. And I have them in that order. Pumas, we see our where are they at? Oh, there we are. Because they're not called Pumas in this. They're called Universidad Nacional. They're fourth. DC United, you got to scroll a little bit in order to get to that.
They're only 17.
DC United and Montreal are 17th and 18th. So they're a lot lower. So I think Pumas is going to come out on this one. And isn't Bofo playing for Pumas?
No, he's playing with Juarez.
He's playing with Juarez?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Somehow I don't remember that happening. Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's look at yours. You have
I think
the
exact same thing. The exact same. You're looking over my shoulder while we're taking a test.
I swear I wasn't. So we have Pumas, United, DC United, and Montreal in East 2. So East 3, we have Atlas, NYCFC, and Toronto. And you have them in that order. Atlas.
I do.
Is sitting at 7th.
NYC will be playing their games. They're not playing at Yankee Stadium. They're playing at the New York Mets Stadium. But yeah, so in case you didn't know that, I think the Yankees will be having a home game during the time that they'll be hosting. So they're playing at the New York Mets Stadium. but I just don't think both teams, NYC and Toronto, are kind of struggling. So I think Atlas will squeak by in this one.
Well, yeah, you have NYCFC and Toronto
Not
sitting
do,
25th and 28th.
not doing great at all.
Yeah, so this one is, who do I have? Yep, same thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. East 4, last group. We have New England Revolution, New York Red Bulls, and Atlético de San Luis. And you have them, or I have them in that order, with the Revs coming out on top because they're obviously second in the league. Red Bulls,
It, in, in, interesting that you'd go with the Red Bulls because we saw how bad of a defense they had against RSL and how bad they've kind of not been great.
Here's my thing though. Atlético San Luis is a small club. They don't I don't think they have the resources to buy the players that they need to in order to compete in this cup. Even though they're sixth right now in Mexico, they're playing against Mexican clubs. I don't know if they're going to be able to do small club things against we'll call them international opponents. You have though the Revs going first and Atlético San Luis going second.
See, I got faith in San Luis that they can slip away out of this group. So
weird. You're so weird. Well,
but on to the knockout stage then.
We're gonna make this big now because knockout stage is big. So
it's big time. So we'll start with mine.
Yep, we're gonna start with yours here. So
we'll start with the LAFC matchup right there.
So since LAFC, LAFC
and Pachuca
and Pachuca, they were in the CONCACAF final. They did not have to play in the group stage. They automatically went to the knockout round. So you have LAFC Austin.
Yep. And then I have RSL over Leon, Tigres over LA Galaxy, Monterrey over Portland Timbers, America over Chicago Fire, and then Chivas over Nashville, St. Louis over Minnesota, and then Cincinnati over Toluca. And then we switch to the other side of the bracket. Philadelphia over DC United, New England over NYCFC, Pumas over Tijuana, and then I'm riding high on San Luis over Atlas. Woo! And then Juarez, Bofo's team, over Necaxa, Atlanta over Santos Laguna, Dallas beating Messi's team, Miami, and Pachuca over Orlando.
Interesting. Let's just keep going with yours.
Okay,
so round of 16.
So we're on to the round of 16. RSL pulling off the upset over LAFC. Monterrey beating Tigres.
That's a clásico.
That is a classic.
For those that don't know, Tigres is also in Monterrey, in the state and city of Monterrey.
Speaking of clásicos, we got a rivalry in the next one. America Chivas. I got Chivas over America, and then we have another kind of ish rivalry. St. Louis Cincinnati. I got Cincinnati over St. Louis.
That's a lot of rivalries. What do I? This is another one.
I got Philly over New England in the other side of the bracket. Pumas over San Luis. Atlanta over Juarez, and Dallas over Pachuca.
Interesting. All right.
We're on to the quarterfinals. So in the quarterfinals, I have, unfortunately, this is the end. Monterrey is going to beat RSL.
What? Why would you do that to us? That's like the worst kind of. I don't know.
The reason I did this is because Monterrey is going to be in our group, and I just don't think we're going to beat them twice.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. That is horrible. I've got to move on before.
Yeah. So, and then in the bottom, I have Cincinnati beating Chivas. So the two power hitters, it's a rematch from their group stage, and then they're gonna play again.
You're doing a lot of rematches, which kind of is weird.
And then on the other side of the bracket, Philly Pumas. I have Philly beating Pumas, and then I have Atlanta beating Dallas.
Okay, so here we go. You're in the semifinals.
Semifinals. My two semifinal matches are Monterrey against Cincinnati, and then the other one is Philly Atlanta. So I have Cincinnati beating Monterrey, and then I have Philly beating Atlanta. So in my third place matchup, I have Monterrey beating Atlanta, and then championship I have Cincy beating Philadelphia. So I'm sorry, Philadelphia fans, you're gonna lose another final back-to-back years.
That's true. Interesting. I don't agree with you one bit. Which
Hey, Cincinnati is riding high right now. They're right now leading supporter shield, so I think they're gonna win 2 trophies.
but are they really riding that high? Here we go. Here's
Okay,
mine.
let's see your knockout.
Knockout stage. I'm gonna go one section at a time. Okay.
Okay.
For the RSL section. LAFC moves on from Austin. RSL moves on from Leon. Tigres move on from Vancouver, and Monterrey move on from San Jose. RSL moves on from LAFC, just like you, but this time for me, Tigres move on from Monterrey, which you have an RSL Tigres matchup, and I am summoning the powers of River Plate from 2015, and we are going to beat Tigres, and we're going to move to the semifinals. How about
Okay.
that?
I like it.
Next, we have Columbus beating Minnesota, Nashville beating Chivas, America beating Puebla, and Cincinnati beating Toluca. From there, it's Nashville beating Columbus, Cincinnati beating America, and Nashville beating Cincinnati. This is a revenge victory.
Interesting that you'd go all MLS teams right there.
I'm telling you, there's gonna be
No, no love for Chivas. I see.
oh, I can't. I'm not. No, I can't.
See, I'm the opposite.
Of,
I'm all Chivas.
of course you are. Of course you are. So there we go. That's mine. So we have an RSL Nashville semifinal. All right, the
Uh,
other side of the bracket.
oh, that's right. I forgot Querétaro.
Querétaro. Watch out for them. Querétaro over DC. Then we have New England over NYCFC. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Philly over Pumas
Mm-hmm.
and Atlas over New York Red Bulls. Then you have New England over Querétaro. That's where Cinderella run ends. And Atlas over Philly. Philly's going to tank. That's it.
Interesting.
New England Atlas. New England's going to win and go to the semifinals.
Okay.
Then you have down here the last section. Juarez Necaxa. I have Necaxa. It's going to be an upset.
Okay.
Atlanta over Orlando. And where am I at? Miami, the surprise, that's moving on, is going to beat Dallas. Why? Because Messi is going to score.
Oh my goodness.
Write it down. Write it down. I'm going to be right.
They gotta get past Cruz Azul first.
They're going to do it. And then Santos gets past Pachuca. Atlanta gets past Necaxa. And Santos gets past Miami. That's where Miami's run ends. And then this one's going to be probably a surprise. Santos will beat Atlanta. So then you have a New England Santos semifinal. Okay, here we go. This is where the dreaming begins.
You're crazy, man.
RSL beats Nashville in the semis to go to the final. Santos is going to beat New England, surprise, and go to the final. Third place is going to be Nashville, New England, and that one's going to be a Nashville win. The final, RSL Santos, because Santos is a mid-table team and RSL is an upper table team, RSL is going to win this. Boom.
See, I like the passion, the going for RSL, but you were so strong a couple days ago for New England. What happened?
I had a coming to Javi moment.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's the equivalent of a coming to Jesus moment, but it was a coming to Javi moment. And I thought, I'm going to summon not only my Inter River Plate power, but I'm going to summon my Inter Javi power, and we're going to get back to the final.
So I gotta ask you. We'll go back to group stage real quick. So out of the group stage matches, which one draws your eye in the most? Which one are you looking forward to watching?
Which game?
Yeah,
Um, if we're talking about just pure like eye candy, it's going to be the Miami one. But if we're going to talk about level of
match.
talent,
Yeah,
and level
matchups.
of how they are doing right now, it's going to be the Cincinnati Chivas game.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Absolutely.
I was gonna agree with you right there. But then for me, when it comes to kind of eye candy, it's probably the Atlanta Miami, just because we have two World Cup teammates going head to head, Almada and Messi, which is going to be very, very cool because we've seen what Almada has done for Atlanta, scoring very similar free kicks to Messi.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. But now the question is, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. The
I don't think anybody
question,
wants to see your screen anymore.
yeah, we're done with my screen. Now the question is, um, let's get into other kinds of predictions since we just went through the whole bracket. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. Now let's talk about who your dark horse is. Take away your bracket.
Yeah,
If you were to go with a dark horse in this
yeah.
one, who is your dark horse for this tournament?
See, I've been doing a lot of back and forth for this, but I would say my dark horse is probably Minnesota.
Holy cow,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is a dark horse.
Hey, I'm going real big and real wild. So in the MLS, Minnesota is my Cinderella, my team to look out for.
Okay,
But from Liga MX, the team that I think that could surprise some people is probably Juarez.
Juarez is a good it's a good
Just be,
dark horse.
just because they got Bofo. They just picked up a win on Sunday, so they're kind of riding some good momentum right now.
Hmm, interesting. Not gonna lie, very interesting. Um, my dark horse, my MLS dark horse, and you might not consider it quite a dark horse, but I'm actually in between two. I'm gonna give you
Okay.
both, but I'm gonna lean more towards one. The one that I'm not leaning more towards, but I have to mention them, is Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville is kind of a dark horse, even though they're doing really well in the league right now. They have Mukhtar that's running great. Zimmerman is holding the back line for them.
Mhm.
They have a lot of good play, but my real dark horse, Columbus.
Yeah. I was. It's just that's a very tough group for them, but I can see that.
It is a tough group, but if they can get out of the group, I think they can make a good run. But my Mexican dark horse, you're kind of alluding to it, but it'd be San Luis
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Right now they're kind of sitting. They're up there in their table. Obviously, they're only 4 games in this season, but they're doing pretty decent for 4 games in.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you can't really judge a book by its cover. RSL Nation knows that you can't really judge a season off of 4 games because if we were to judge the rest of our season off of the first 4 games, we are going to be sitting in last place.
Yeah, yeah. So super pumped, super excited. If you guys have not filled out a bracket, you still got time. You got well,
Let's-
the
It
clock's
says
still.
it says right now 19 hours and 17 minutes, but by the time
So
you listen to this in the next 12 hours, it's going to be like 7 hours.
yeah, so if you haven't, do it because it's kind of fun. It's addicting.
Yeah, so it ends at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, so super fun. Yeah,
Um,
if you don't know anything about soccer, just do it based on logos.
do it based on logos. We know somebody who's not probably not listening. Somebody's doing it off of logos, so it's all right. Um, let's talk about then RSL's Saturday game against Seattle. Um, there's obviously history between RSL and Seattle. You could almost call it another Clásico.
It's kind of like a little bitter rivalry that's spruing.
So now, what do you expect out of? How do you expect RSL to come out this Saturday?
If for those of you who weren't paying attention to the Monarchs game yesterday, we had Nelson Palacio and Andres Gomez Hidalgo as well as Beavers. Our four usual starters start that game for the Monarchs against Crystal Palace U21s. So I expect those four obviously not to be starting. Probably Hidalgo, Palacio, and Gomez coming off the bench. But I see us coming out with our normal starters that we did against the Red Bulls, just guns a blazing. Hopefully with Chicho and Moose up top, and having good passing, good possession to start off that match with some good shots on target.
Chicho said in a press conference that he's ready to win a championship now. He doesn't want to wait till MLS Cup. He doesn't want to wait till next year. So I think it's going to be really important for this tournament, if RSL is going to take it seriously, that Pablo makes sure his rotations are doing, or that he has good rotations, that he doesn't exhaust players, because right now we're going to be playing Saturday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
The next game is between the 2nd and the 4th, so it'd be a week. We'd have a week off. But after that, we're going to be playing, if we move on. We're going to talk best case scenario. If we move on and we go ahead and try to win this thing. We're talking it's going to be a Wednesday, Saturday for like the next 4 weeks again.
Yeah.
And on top of that, a US Open Cup semifinal.
Yeah. Here's a little fun RSL trivia that I had to dig up in the archives. The last time that the Seattle Sounders won at Rio Tinto, when do you think it was? Just to throw out a little guess.
2021.
No, 2016, but it was in the U.S. Open Cup. It was tied 1-1, and we lost in penalty kicks. That was the last time we lost to Seattle at home.
Interesting.
So it's been about 7 years.
You say US Open Cup?
Yep.
What year again?
2016.
26. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh my gosh. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So we've kind of owned Seattle at our house, which is good.
Come on, Seattle.
Start winning in Salt Lake.
No, don't start winning in Salt Lake.
No. Also, if you guys don't know the formats for the way the Leagues Cup works, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's tied after regular time, then instead of extra time, they go straight into penalty kicks.
Yes, in group play, if it's tied, they go straight to penalty kicks. Because how points work is it's going to be, if it's a tie at the end of regulation, you get 1 point. You then go into penalty kicks, and the winner of the penalty kicks get an extra point. So technically 2 points.
2 points. Yeah. So if that were to come down to RSL kicking penalty kicks, do you have a certain players, or who would you feel most confident taking those penalties for us?
To be honest, I don't think I would be confident in Chicho. If we had Krylock in the game, I'd feel confident with Krylock.
Yeah.
Sava, I'd feel confident with.
Yeah.
Those three I'm confident in. If you throw in a Glad and you throw in a Brody, that would throw people off.
That's true.
I'm just saying, defenders are sometimes the best PK takers.
It's true. Marcelo Silva, we if you remember back in Seattle when that playoff game there, he smashed that one. So
and center defenders smash him too. I wouldn't be surprised if I've never seen Vera take a kick, but if Vera looks like he has a bomb.
Yeah, obviously I don't want it to come down to that, but if it does, I feel like we have some good resources that can take some penalty kicks. If you guys remember last playoffs, they're still looking for Tate Schmidt's ball up in the air.
So then, who are you looking at, or who are you looking who you're looking at on Seattle that's going to give us headaches?
Oh, I think it's the most obvious one. It's Jordan Morris. He's kind of been disruptive and kind of all over the place. I think it's just their three-headed monster on their attack: Rui Diaz, Ladero, and Morris himself. And then they have a solid back line as well. And then I'm drawing a blank on his name. Chu.
Yep, true.
Chu. He's been killing it right now on assists.
So their last game that they played, they had Rui Diaz up top. They had Chu, Rusnak, Roldan,
Yeah.
Paulo, Vargas, and then a backline of Tolo, Reagan, Gomez, Roldan, and obviously Stefan Fry as a keeper. This Seattle team worries me because now I think we are at the same level as them in terms of talent, in every position. This is literally going to be a battle.
Yeah, if you remember, we've already played Seattle once at home this season that ended in a 0-0 draw, where RSL had so many chances, and Seattle was kind of camping back and just wanting to draw, and we just couldn't finish those. And of course, we got a red card in that matchup too.
I'm telling you, if we play the same lineup as we did this past Saturday with Chicho Moose, Luna, Pablo, Ojeda, Sava, and then Brody Vera, Glad, Bodie, or Eneli, I think this is going to be the toughest matchup in all of Leagues Cup. You cannot tell me that this will not be the toughest matchup head to head.
That's why this is going to be a tough group for RSL in this first game against Seattle and then Wednesday against Monterrey, because if we want to at least get second, we got to be guns a-blazing. So everybody's got to be playing their best football if we want to move on.
And alongside that, because we have quote unquote we had a history of struggling at home. This past month, we've been doing a lot better. Some say would even great. We need people to show up at the riot, and I have no doubts that people will show up at the riot because one, this is a new cup. Everyone wants to do well. Two, it's against Seattle. Everyone knows that this is an important game, and three, everyone knows that the team needs all the support that they can get right at this point. This is very important. Like, I'm about ready to like the stadium. like I am like super pumped right now because this is gonna be so exciting.
See, I'm sad myself that I'm gonna miss the game, but I'll be watching where I can. But we need this win. We need all the support we can. So everybody show up at the riot. Be loud.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm all hyped up right now.
This gives me chills. This is going to be an exciting weekend to kick everything off.
Yeah. So, some people say that this tournament is kind of a useless tournament. We shouldn't be playing it. I'm of the thought that, look, this is a chance for MLS to actually prove that we're finally better than Liga MX, that we have the top spot in CONCACAF.
And I like this format for the fact that first and second obviously get that berth into CONCACAF, and then as well as third place. So the winner of the third place matchup gets that berth as well. But mind you, the winner of this whole tournament, they automatically advance to the round of 16.
That's going to be so nice.
Yeah, so imagine like this random dark horse of a team from Liga MX or MLS, they automatically get that fast pass to round of 16. So that's why you want to do your best so you can get there.
Now, do you know if whoever wins this tournament, do they have a bid into the Club World Cup?
Yeah, they do.
Also, so this is super important. There's a lot on the line for this. So
yeah, because I think it's the 2024
25, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So whenever the 2024 CONCACAF gets that bid.
Yeah. Do you know what time it is?
I do know what time it is. It is prediction time.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So much talk about this. Let's just predict it. Let's do it.
Let's just predict it. So my turn, your turn,
Your turn. Go ahead.
my turn. Um, I've been going back and forth on this one. We are gonna have both Leagues Cups games here at the Riot. We're gonna have home field advantage, which is always nice for us. Fans are gonna be loud. Fans are gonna be proud. So we're going against a tough Seattle squad, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna get this dub. Give me a 2-1 win for RSL.
I hate you. I swear. I was gonna guess that. Um, but it's okay. I have a backup plan.
Flattery's not gonna get you everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Copying them people on tests will not get me everywhere. So we're just gonna make this quick and simple. 3-2 victory for RSL. There's gonna be
Ooh,
goals. This is gonna be lighting up the stadium.
ooh.
Speaking of
There's
lighting the stadium,
there's gonna be fireworks, my friend.
so there's gonna be fireworks on the field and in the air. So um, this is gonna be super exciting. Everyone needs to go.
Hey, if you remember the last time we had a firework game, we won 4-0. So are you saying it's gonna be a little bit more?
Who knows? Who knows? But again, get there, everyone. Get to the
Yeah,
stadium.
yeah. Unfortunately, Alan and I will not be there, but still show up, still be loud, still be proud. If you're not following us on Instagram, Twitter, or even Threads, give us a follow at the RSL Bros and subscribe right here.
And then don't forget to follow us on Spotify, so you don't have to see our faces.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But until next time, until we break down this matchup as well as the Monterey game, take care, guys.
Ciao, ciao.